A pleasant good morning to everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, Carlos Brown. Here's what's trending. We'll get right to it on today's show. Congratulations to Alabama A&M, women's regular season champion. We also congratulated Bethune-Cookman as a regular season champion on the men's side. SWAC tournament is here. We got a lot of questions. It's going to be an exciting time. I, for one, who said he was not in favor of 12 teams in the tournament, I'm kind of catching on, kind of feeling the vibes there. I think it's going to be very, very exciting. That's what's trending on today's show. Let's introduce the panel and let's get right into it. A lot to talk about. Up first, Charles Edmond of the Alcorn State Radio Network. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Petaway.
Let's go.
Good morning. Good morning. And good afternoon, Willa Brown.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Well, there was a bunch of games played past week, but I'll just go to the last two. Just the last two. Of course, for Southern University, guys, you can give your take on going into this tournament. Let's see. We will start with the women. Women, chivalry is not dead on this show. Southern University, of course, had a big game against Alabama A&M, but before then, it was Alabama State. And you're going to notice a pattern with Southern women. Free throws missed and losing close games. Alabama State already had one victory over Southern University in Baton Rouge. Well, they get it done again in Montgomery, 65-63. Southern shot 34% from the field. Alabama State, 40%. Rebounds, Alabama State just destroyed them on the boards, 53-29. Final again, 65-63 in Montgomery. Then they make the I-60, what is it, I-65?
Yes,
I-65.
65.
So they made the move up to Huntsville, the largest city now in Alabama, growing. All of the great things I hear about Huntsville, you kind of look forward to that ball game. Well, Southern University women, after a disappointing loss to Alabama State, you kind of figure maybe they were looking ahead, but they shouldn't have, panel, because you lost Alabama State. Coach Petaway, you got to see Southern women in person. And they dropped a 3-point decision to Alabama A&M. They lost by 2 in Baton Rouge. But the story of that game, in my humble opinion, was free throws.
Right.
They missed 12, Coach Petaway.
Right. I'm going to tell you something. Despite all of that, that's a very scary team. And, a lot of times matchups mean everything. Alabama A&M does not match up well with Southern. See, this is what is happening. Southern can match up with A&M in the paint in terms of size. But this is where Southern has an advantage. Your guards are a lot bigger and longer. And that is creating problems for Alabama A&M. When you look at the turnover differential, we're turning the ball over because Coach Funches has got those ladies attacking Alabama A&M on the defensive end of the floor. They're pressing them. They go full court. They go three-quarter court. And then with our small guards, they're having problems trying to pass the ball around that length. So that's a tough matchup for Alabama A&M. And then when the brackets come out, you could see Southern again in the semifinals.
Yeah, and by the way, great broadcast. I got a chance to watch you guys. I was very kind of pleased. And I had a heartfelt because they were showing you guys, and I said, look, there goes Coach Petaway. He's talking to Coach Johnson. You went up to him. and I really enjoy seeing that.
Well, yeah, I enjoy seeing the coaches, man. I know, everybody in the league some kind of way. And, Coach Johnson and I we've known each other for years, and he came across that court, man. And so I had to get up to go to go meet him, man. And then same thing with Coach Carlos. See,
Mm-hmm.
got to remember now, Carlos was in Huntsville. He played in Huntsville. So
Mm-hmm.
that goes back way back, our relationship with him, because those guys used to come to practice over there. They were my guests at the game. So I still know just about every coach in this SWAC. And it's always refreshing to see some of these people, some of the coaches. And then, of course, now the media people around the SWAC. You know, I enjoy being everybody. The SWAC is a family, man. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're still a part of it. Even though I'm, not on the sideline, I still enjoy seeing everybody. I still know someone at every institution in the SWAC. And it's just great, man, because we're a family.
Well said. Well said. 64-61. Southern drops the decision to Alabama A&M. Alabama A&M for the game shot 39%, Southern 43%. Rebounds, Alabama A&M did out rebound Southern 40-34. And then boy, I circled the free throw shooting. Let's just take a look at it. Alabama A&M 23 of 35 for 65.7%. Southern University 6 of 21. Wow. 28.6. Yeah. Man. You hit those free throws, it's a different outcome.
Right.
And some people say it's the easiest shot in basketball at the charity stripe. But for Southern University women, they have struggled not only in that game, but throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking it up, Carlos. I mean, 6 of 21 from the free throw line in a loss, 15 of 32, 23 of 41 against Alcorn, and 8 of 18. So, I mean, you look at those numbers, you do better, you have a better seeding. But that's something that Southern definitely has to work on. I think everything else defensively, they're solid. I think they've got scoring. They want to slow the game down. I mean, the tournament is set up where Southern defensively, you want to slow it down, and that's what Southern does. But you got to get to the line, and you got to make them. And Southern has not done that this season.
Coach Pettaway?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're going into the game, you were toward the bottom in the SWAC and free throw shooting. And that's one of the things. And I think for these coaches going forward in the tournament, instead of allowing Southern to make baskets, put them on the free throw line.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would have enough people to rotate in and out and say, hey, do not allow them to just score a basket, make them earn it.
Yeah, and I kind of look at it just critiquing it a little bit. Wheeler, they seem to struggle against the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And we were texting during the week.
Mm-hmm.
I said from a non-coaching perspective, dribble penetration and ball movement. Swing that ball around. But they've if you look at some of the weaknesses, free throw shooting and trying to adjust to the zone.
Yeah, you can't hold the ball and let the defense reform and reshape, with every pass. So you got to get it out your hand, either swinging it to its next destination, or dribble driving and kicking it, or pulling up, stop and pop for the short 15-footer, 12-footer, that sort of thing, which is a lost art, by the way. And
Mid-range.
yeah. So I mean, there are various ways to get at it. You just got to go and be deliberate about it and get at it.
And also, Coach Pettaway, you also mentioned in the text messages that another way is, and when you get the rebound, take off, get up the court.
Right.
For a defense.
Right. If a team is real strong with the zone and you have problems with it, beat the zone down the floor. You either score in transition or you score in your interim break. Then that way you don't have to you don't have to play 5-on-5 against the zone. Now, one of the things that hurt Southern was when Alabama A&M went to the zone, they got a Nia Palmer up top, and that's a 6'3" with long arms. So what she does, she creates bad passing angles. So that's why they have the trouble moving the basketball. They're keeping the ball on the perimeter, and then a lot of times when you have to go make the pass toward half court, that gives the defense an opportunity to shift, Wheeler. That's what you were talking about. But see, if you can throw skip passes, that makes the defense move. And the other thing is what you were talking about, Carlos. You got to attack the gaps. You attack the gaps off of the bounce, and then that creates a 2-on-1 somewhere on the floor. So that you just got to move the basketball against the zone.
And screen that lead guard. I mean, screen that guard, that top person. Screen that person, give you a little angle, to get into the lane or to drive the ball, that sort of thing. And make two people play you, but get rid of the ball, prior to that second person coming over. So I mean, it just takes work and discipline. No doubt about that. But with tournament basketball coming, every possession is going to be cherished. There's no doubt about that. So you can look for a lot of slow walking it up the floor and, everybody trying to move that ball around, that sort of thing, making sure we take good shots. Well, like Coach Pettaway say, if you can run it, by all means, if you can beat them down the floor. But running is a commitment, Carlos, and that's something I just tell the kids all the time. You can't run sometimes. There's a commitment to this thing, to getting up and down the floor. So, I mean, you just can't do it willy-nilly, that sort of thing.
Early
offense. One of the things that Southern did well now, in their full court pressure, they created turnovers now. They forced a lot of turnovers. They forced A&M to turn the basketball over. And, like I said, to me, their length was the reason why A&M was throwing the ball away, because when you got Walker and Wembley on the floor at the same time, those are smaller guards, and they have a problem trying to throw the ball over the top of taller guards. And that that's where physics comes into play. So you have to be patient to get it up the floor. I think a couple of times you all even got a 10-point ball against Alabama A&M, but you definitely forced turnovers on the pass. And then when you got live ball turnovers, you have an opportunity to score the basketball quickly.
It's excuse me. I think in this tournament it's going to be about matchups. Some teams match up well with others on the men's side and on the women's side. Now, the women went 0-2 the last two games. The men, a different story. They defeated Alabama State 71-64. Then they went to Huntsville 88-85. But I knew a run was coming. I knew a big lead is never safe this year in this conference because teams are going to be competitive. They get down by 16, 18 points. You come back, chop back a little at a time. You can get it down to 10 points, and then things start tightening up.
Yep.
But Alabama A&M made a run, fell a little bit short. Boy, look at, I had to have a towel next to me because I was sweating. I knew it was coming, but my goodness, it was almost too close for comfort. But Southern over Alabama State 71-64. And 88-85 over Alabama A&M. So with that being said, my first question coming up for the chat room and the panel. We just congratulated Alabama A&M on women's title. I saw all of the videos, and she really felt it. She said basically, and I paraphrase, first time winning a regular season championship. So the regular season championship still means a lot. Even for seeding purposes, it still is an accomplishment, right?
Oh yes.
And so, Coach Brown was very excited. But out of the two number one seeds, who is most likely not to be in the championship game? Whoa, boy, I got my answer, but I want to hear from you, the panel, first. I mean, if that's the case. But,
Charles, you want it first?
Go with me last. Let me ponder on that one for a couple more minutes because that's
all right. Okay, I'll go first. On the men's side, with Bethune-Cookman being the number one seed, I'm still not sold on them without Bradley. So if I had to pick, I would say Bethune-Cookman would be the one that would not win it as a number 1 seed. I think the Lady Bulldogs have a better opportunity because of their depth, and they are getting. And by the way, they will be getting Davenport back for the tournament. And I'm just saying Bethune-Cookman because those guys, they play a lot of minutes. We're looking at teams being worn down the stretch, and I think without Bradley, I don't think they can do it. That's just me.
Well, I'm gonna be quick to it, Wheeler. I'm gonna be quick and then turn over to you. You know, I've been kind of trending anyway. I think Bethune-Cookman it has an excellent chance of not making it to the championship.
Yeah.
And by the way, FAMU, they stormed the court? Last game of the season, they defeated Bethune-Cookman. Yeah, which number is least likely to make champion? I'm gonna say Bethune-Cookman.
Well, I would think, Carlos, that number one, both your men and your women, Southern University, should be in the semis. I don't think there's any doubt about that to me. And I think one of them may make it to Saturday. I don't think both of them will. Okay. And if I got to put my money on one of them, I'm going to put it on Coach Johnson and the men. I just think that, I think they can get Bethune. I wasn't really that impressed with Bethune, and you guys didn't play well when y'all played them. You guys didn't play well at all, but you were right there pretty much throughout the entire game and did some good things. So I could see why Bethune wouldn't want to see you guys, but I think your guys make it to the championship game on Saturday. And maybe I'm giving them the kiss of death again. But
he ain't thinks it's a kiss of death.
I just think A&M women are too strong. I think, and I think they'll ride the momentum and take it all away.
So,
but now for Southern men to meet Bethune, they had to be in the championship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying now? Remember, the question is which number 1 seed. So it's either Bethune-Cookman or Alabama A&M. So, Will, you're saying Bethune-Cookman is most likely not to make it?
That's my thought.
Yeah. Okay.
I got you. Yeah. I take that.
Mm-hmm.
Now Charles has been big on Bethune-Cookman. Let's see what he says about
it. And he's heard all of us make our comments. So let's have
it, Charles. Alabama A&M's women have won 17 in a row. If you look at some of those wins, close wins down the stretch.
Yep.
Grambling by 4, Bethune, Jackson State by a couple, Jackson by 8, Bama State by 8, Grambling by 5. They've won 17 in a row. All the pressure is going to be on them to finish this deal.
Yep.
Other than the Tamika Reed teams that went wire. I'm going to say if there's a team that's not going to make it, I'm going to say it's Alabama A&M. I just think the pressure. Now, if they had lost, if they lost the other night, I would probably lean more a little bit towards Bethune. I think Bethune's going to be fine. We talked about Bradley. I've been told that they're not going to have Bradley.
Right.
So they won with him. They won without him. And I think for Bethune, the best thing that could have happened to them was losing to Florida A&M the other night. And even though you're not trying to lose, I mean, FAMU's been playing really well. But, Reggie, I've been at Bethune when they were practicing, and Reggie Theus was trying to get these guys' attention, like saying, look, this ain't no cakewalk. And I think that loss to FAMU and Tallahassee got their attention. I think Bethune's men are going to win the whole thing. I'm not as certain about, and I love Dawn Brown. She's earned everything she's been able to get at UAPB. She gets the talent. She won the regular season, but I just think the pressure of trying to complete this journey, winning 20 in a row, That's tough. It's tough. I'm gonna say I don't know if Alabama A&M. I don't know if A&M's gonna finish the deal. Just my guess. I think Bethune is gonna win the tournament. I'm not so just because of the pressure that A&M's under right now. So that's tough, Carlos. 17 in a row. What team do we know in SWAC basketball? We know the Jackson State Reed teams win 18-0, but what team has lost the first game and won 17 in a row? Has that happened? I haven't looked at it, but that's a lot of pressure, guys. That's a lot.
I'm impressed with the way they've been winning.
Yeah.
We talk about them barely squeaking by, that sort of thing. To me, that's the mark of a good team and a well-coached team.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason why, and that's why I picked them to kind of seal the deal. Because I just don't put a whole lot of stock in the pressure thing. And maybe that's just me. I don't know, but I just think that when you get to this time of the year, damn it, it's time to get busy. It's time to play, and that's the message that I am relaying, to the team. Every step we make, we got a chance to make history for Alabama A&M. Let's go ahead and seal this deal. Let's play the way that we've been playing all year. If it's close, hell, it's close.
Right.
That's just me.
And see, Charles, I think what you just said is the reason why I think A&M can win it. They have won all year, all kinds of ways. They've been in a tough game. See, now it would be different if they had all blowouts and then they come across a team that holds them to a close game and they haven't been in that position before. But they've been in that position time and time again, and they find a way to win. And I think the other thing that helps them, they're not just relying on one person, one particular person. Even though Ms. Walker is the player of the year, they don't rely on her. Yeah. There are other people on that team that step up at different games at different points during this season. Yeah. So that's why I think because they have experienced every way to win a basketball game, I think that's why I think that they should still be the favorite on the women's side. And that's why I think that they will find a way when the pressure hits to come out on top.
And it's chess, Charles. It's chess.
Yeah.
Right. Dawn's going to have to move the pieces correctly, that sort of thing. She's going to have to recognize and, get people in and out in a timely manner when kids aren't doing well. She's going to have to make that key decision in terms of who to sit down, who comes in next, and, how my rotation is going to go and all that sort of thing. So if it's pressure out there, the pressure is on her more so than it is on the kids. She's got to press the right buttons. She's got to do the right things in terms of making sure the kids are motivated, in terms of putting them in position to be successful, the whole 9 yards. And then I think the kids will feed off of her in terms of going out there and sealing the deal. But if she goes out there wobbly and shaking and teetering and all that sort of thing, then they're going to follow her lead. They're going to wobble. They're going to teeter. And somebody's going to sneak up on them and put it in them.
And then you got to remember now, this is the best defensive team in the SWAC. That they're ranked 12th in the country when it comes to defense now. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on what's been happening on the defensive side of the floor. Charles, the next time you watch them play, you watch their guards and see how much pressure they put on the other team's guard. See, that's what is missing. Like the other night when they went to the zone and Southern couldn't get the basketball where they wanted on spots on the floor, it's because of the pressure of the guards. It's not the post players. It's what the guards are doing out there. They got a little two freshmen, Wimberly and McIntosh. Man, Charles, I would love to coach somebody like them, man. They get up in people as freshmen. And, defense is the hardest thing to teach a kid, and they come in with that mentality. They came in as freshmen with that mentality that we're going to work hard, we're going to get it done on the defensive end. And I think their defensive pressure is going to keep them in most games because that half-court defense is something else, man. They do a great job with that. And they've done it all year.
And 4 more years of those freshmen, good golly molly.
Yeah.
Or two in the days of the transfer portal.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. But Coach Dunn does an excellent job. I was able to watch her sweat TV. Really get to see, it's a lot of flair, but it's also a lot of fun foundation.
A lot of substance to it now. She knows what she's doing, yes.
Yeah. Now, that was interesting. Now, here's my next question, then we'll get to a break.
You're racking my brain, Carlos.
and this was just after waking up this morning.
Oh, man.
Which number 2 seed has the best chance of being in the finals? Whoa. Both on the men's and women's side. We'll start the women's side. What's the number 2 seed? Alcorn State, right? And on the men's side,
Florida A&M.
Look at me closely, EA.
Yep.
FAMU. FAMU. Which number 2 seed is most likely to be in the championship? That was even maybe tough as the first one.
I don't think either one.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute, Will. Come on now. Wait a minute.
I don't.
Okay, remember matchups.
On the Alcorn State, and look, Carlos, on the Alcorn State side, they have sort of they have dwindled down the stretch. I mean, they've lost a couple of games down the stretch, and I don't know. I was waiting to hear from Charles to see if it's injuries or what is taking place because they were playing so well. But if I had to pick somebody right now, I would go with Alcorn being the number 2 that might not make it. And where Charles is back now. Yeah. Charles, does Alcorn have injuries? Do the women have injuries?
Yes.
Okay. That's why they're struggling down the stretch, correct?
You mean I'm sorry, someone's knocking at my door.
Okay. No. I'm talking about they're talking about the number 2 seed, the women.
Okay.
Will they make it to the championship? And I was saying that they seem to be struggling down the stretch. And I didn't know if it was because of injuries on the team, that we're not aware of.
Yeah, well, our starting center, Krishani Walker, against Prairie View last week, suffered a knee injury. And so she has not played the last 2.5 games. We'll see if she's ready for the tournament. But it's a couple of things that we have to do a better job of. And we have to handle the zone, which UAPB played us the other night, and we struggled with it. And we have to cut down on turnovers, and we have to make layups. We're missing too many easy shots around the basket. Now, in terms of injuries, the only one that we're dealing with right now is Krishani Walker. She's a big piece in this. She is a huge piece in this. So we have to keep an eye on that if she's going to be available. But for the Lady Braves, we're determined to hoist that trophy. We've been to the last 2 championship games. We've had three players on this roster that have played 4 years. We just talked about it a moment ago about team players leaving. We had played 3 players, Maya Hucken-Claytor, Nakia Cheatham, who's on the all-conference team, has done a really nice job. And Maya Hucken-Claytor, one of the best 3-point shooters in the conference. 4-year players, didn't transfer, could have left last year, and we're determined to hoist that tournament championship trophy. We've got to shoot the ball a little better. We've got to hit our free throws, which at times has been a struggle, but we've done a better job of that. But defensively is where we hang our hat, guys. We're not a prolific scoring team. We get the game in the 50s, we got you. But the question is, when we don't defend well, give up too many layups, foul too much, once the game gets in the 60s, that's a challenge for us. So I would say the Lady Braves are determined to hoist that trophy. You just never know, but we are in a position where we can get it done.
Well, you know what? Now I'm coming back because we just had a discussion. Alabama A&M has the most pressure. I think that could be 0 right back to Alcorn.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're. And this is up for debate. I may be in the minority of this, but I think Alcorn's last year's team was a little bit better than this year's team. So Charles,
With Destiny Brown, yeah.
I'm pointing the arrow back at Alcorn. I think they're under the most pressure to get it done.
Yeah, yep. There's no doubt about that, because after this year, we got to hit the transfer portal. We got to get some experience. We've got some young players that are growing up. But clearly, these last couple of years with the seniors that we have this year, plus what you had last year with Destiny Brown, couldn't quite hoist the trophy, couldn't complete the deal. Yes, I would agree that hoisting some hardware, whether it be a regular season this year, of course, we got the tournament to go. Mm-hmm. I think there's some pressure to get it done, because this is one of the best teams that we've had. And so now, the window, I'm not going to say it's shut, but after this year, we got a lot of work to do to get back to where we need to be.
Well, I'm going to pat Coach Kilbert on the back. He's done an outstanding job. And if it wasn't for Coach Dunn, and if I had a vote, which I don't, he definitely would get it. He's like the miracle worker, Wheeler.
Especially with the resources that he has available. So I mean, from a budgetary point of view, that sort of thing, he's definitely above and beyond. There's no doubt about that. So I mean, if he doesn't hoist the trophy this year, I still say job well done, and reward him accordingly. But Charles, I know, nothing else will do for a lot of people over on the reservation. So I mean, it is what it is on that one. I just hope that if they don't come through, that people don't get disgruntled to the point where they run the man out of there, or he wants to run himself out of there.
Well, he has another year left on. They have another year left on the two. They signed a 2-year extension. This is the first.
I would not let him get to that 1 year.
Well,
he would always, in my book, with what he has accomplished, he always have 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, always have 2. I would not.
A 2-year contract.
I would not lame duck him like that. No doubt about that.
The
and then
Carlos Brown
contract. It would help him recruit him if he had that too.
Yeah.
Well, he's done that staff has done an outstanding job. There's no doubt about it. But again, you have expectations, and then you have reality. This is the way I look at this now. And so the expectation is that some sort of hardware should be hoisted. A gold ball should be handed to him, whether it's regular season or tournament. And so far, we've come up short on the regular season side of it this year. And we hope, being a 2 seed, getting the rest, hopefully Krishani Walker will be available. And if not, Lauren Nelson will have to step up the rotation. We've got enough players. The question is, can we execute? Can we handle the zone? I mean, UAPB showed that, we struggle with the zone. So now we'll see what this looks like. We might be looking at UAPB again in the tournament, and we'll see what it looks like.
Now, on the men's side, so I guess FAMU, and we talked about matchups. We know they swept Southern, right? I'm still just not sold. But the question was, which number 2 seed has the best chance of making it to the championship? Maybe I should put C on there. None of the above. That's kind of what Willow said. But the way I structured the question, it had to be FAMU.
I think FAMU's playing with house money. This is Charlie Ward's first season. They've had some really good moments. They came here and handled us, and they've won some big games. That win at home over Bethune gives them a little bit of confidence, but they're playing with house money. I mean, if they get to the semifinals, it's all gravy. And I know, again, it's expectations and reality. And so I think that for them, I think that's the best thing to have. Fans are excited, just like they were last year when you had Coach Carey there as coach. And I thought they were a team that could probably be close to winning it all with the talent they had last year. But this year, FAMU's been kind of hiding under the radar. I think people are catching on to them now. but they've been kind of hovering underneath the radar most of the season. So I think for FAMU, when you're like that, when you're playing with house money, let it rip. Just relax, play basketball. And Charlie Ward, just his temperament, guys, just kind of low key. I know he's probably fiery. I didn't see it in the 2 meetings, but just his temperament, his first year. If he gets to the semifinals, I think he has a shot maybe to win it. And he just beat Bethune. He just saw him, and not much has changed. So I think for FAMU, if they get through the early game and they get to Bethune, assuming they make it, then I think it's going to be a heck of a matchup.
So what I'm hearing from you, Charles, is we might be looking at an all Florida final then.
We could. But if it's one dark horse team out of all that you have to throw in this mix is Texas Southern.
Yeah, but how are they now without their big dog now?
Well, it doesn't really matter to me, because Texas Southern has been a team that they won it as an 8 seed. And I didn't realize this until I looked at the tournaments in the past. Texas Southern's won 3 tournaments in a row recently. And so even with that, even when they weren't a 1 seed, when they're an 8 seed, they won it. So Johnny Jones has figured out a way, despite what he doesn't have, to find a way to get his team up in the tournament. I mean, I don't think he really cares, but he's got enough talent. I know without their best player, but I think he'll figure out a way. I think they just kind of I wouldn't say airmailed the Prairie View game. Got to give Prairie View credit, but Texas Southern is that sleeper team to me, that sleeper cell that could upend it all, because they've done it before, and there's no pressure. And so I think that's the one team that can throw a wrench into all of this is Texas Southern to me.
So now, Charles, real quickly. So you don't think that the Prairie View game exposed the fact that Texas Southern is not as strong without him back there in that paint?
I think so. I mean, clearly, for us, we led by 13 and couldn't finish the deal. But it's just something to me about Johnny Jones and the SWAC tournament. Just when you look the other way and think they don't have it, they ain't got it, they're missing pieces, they find a way to piece it together in the tournament. So I'm not going to discount that. But
normally they're healthy going into the tournament.
But normally they are.
But what I'm saying is they're without their leading scorer and rebounder. Come on now, that's a lot to overcome.
Yeah, but they've overcome it though so far. I mean, it's just something about the tournament to me where I can't discount, Johnny Jones. I got to give FAMU their flowers, and somebody just put in the chat room about UAPB. That's a team right there that no one is talking about. And I just saw him the other night. You got one of the top scorers in the league that no one's talking about. You got a conductor in Morosini who can get downhill, can spread the floor offensively, get other players involved. That's a team that no one's really talking about as well. In UAPB, they've had their moments. They had Jackson on the ropes. They beat us twice. I think they beat Southern. So I think that's a team nobody's talking about, which is a good thing for them. They just want to play ball. And so I think this tournament's going to be really interesting and intriguing. Some teams that no one's talked about could rise, but we can have some upsets because we seem to have those every year.
Yeah, as we go to this timeout, traditionally, Texas Southern, but I just don't see it this year. But I could be wrong. And after the break, I was going to talk about a dark horse on the men and women's side. Think about that. I see in the chat room. G. Boo says PV swept TSU in the season. Dr. Carey also talks about UAPB as a headache. I just know that 1-3-1 zone, that's what kind of threw Southern playing against it. And they had that look like a 6'6", 6'7" guy, long length, playing at the top. But when we look at it, we know someone's going to win it on both the women and the men's side. But I think it's going to be a lot of excitement. Most tournaments you have upsets. You're going to have dark horses, all of that. So this year is no different. All 12 teams in Atlanta. We're going to take time out. Also, in hour number 2, Kim Murray Walker. That's a name to remember. I'm going to tie it all in. She runs a yoga a yoga place. Now, I don't know how many of you or how much you know about yoga, but Coach Pettaway, it has been involved in sports lately.
Right. A lot of schools.
And so I was on the internet, Instagram, and I saw her working out with working the Southern University guys and also across town. So I want to tie in how important yoga has and what's its impact on the athletes. Now, Will, me and you know, Coach Pettaway, we old school. I might have a couple questions about a 61-year-old guy. Could he start yoga? Because I'm gonna be honest.
No twisting and turning over here, Carlos.
But it's something to learn new, and the stretching and the mobility, and tied into athletics. I kind of knew you was gonna say that, Willa. So we're gonna sign you up in Baltimore. Coach Pettaway, you got to learn something different now.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
But I noticed, and it's not only physical but a mental. If I can get down on the floor, do some mobility exercise, and then, at this age, it's not hard getting down. It's hard getting up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. If you get down, you got to be able to get up. Yep, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Hey, you get to the age when you drop something, you'll just leave it there for right now.
and
I'll get that later.
About an hour later.
Yeah. And I never thought about that. But what did the old folks say? Just keep living.
Yep.
And by the way, speaking of that, when we come back from the timeout, I got some news that really just, it makes you think of your immortality. You're here on this earth for a certain time. You try to make the best of it. And when you leave this world, have you made a mark on it? Even it could be locally, could be nationally, but in your community. I'm going to tell you about somebody who passed away. And I got the word early Thursday morning. And I'll be honest, I cried like a baby. I've never met this guy, but yeah, I felt like I knew him. And Coach Pettaway, a little clue. He always talked about, man, Southern's got to get a big in basketball.
Yep.
We'll tell you about him when we come back. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We shall return.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
And we have to fund our kids in these colleges, and we have to make sure our kids have seats in these colleges.
And what about HBCUs? You mentioned.
Absolutely. You got to fund them all, and you got to make sure they're properly funded. The real reason why I went after Comcast and Charter, it didn't have anything to do with my cable networks. It didn't. What happened was a gentleman wanted to do the Black College Sports Network in partnership with the HBCUs. And Comcast did not accept it. And that would have made a lot of money for these black colleges.
Absolutely.
And it would have educated the Black College Sports Network. This is what he wanted to do. That would have educated a lot of black kids. And when they didn't do that, that's when I came off the bench and said, okay, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree. Okay? That was the real reason why I got into it, was when I saw what happened with the Black College Sports Network, which I don't own. I just knew.
Why did you buy it?
I just knew. I just knew that these black.
I like that talk.
Right? I knew that these black colleges were going to benefit, and these black kids were going to get the education that they deserved and not have to pay.
There's a shot.
That might be. It could be.
Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
We can't hear you, Carlos.
Here we go.
There we go.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. You know, I have a cousin that terrorized me when I was younger, and she's still at it. She just said, if you get down on that floor and you can't get up, guess what? I'm not going to help you. But I'm looking forward to that. Yoga. Yeah, it's physical and mental. Before the break, Willie Bolden, out of Dallas, Texas, a staunch Southern supporter, alumnus, and Ralph Holly texted me. It must have been early Thursday. He passed away from pancreatic cancer, and I didn't know. Like I said, I never met him, but I knew him through the show. And once again, doing this business, you establish relationships. And you remember him, Coach Pettaway, about saying Southern has to get those bigs. They have to get those bigs, and it's hard to get those bigs. But I kind of agree with him now, because we were kind of talking, especially with Wheeler, and he got a chance to really look at the replay of Southern and Bethune-Cookman.
Mm-hmm.
And Wheeler said, they're bigs. They need some more physical bigs,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of shooters. But servant of God, well done. Just saw pictures on Facebook, family, and everything, and I didn't know. But I just noticed last month, maybe a little over a month, we didn't hear anything in the chat room. So may the ancestors accept Willie in the spiritual realm, and that's the way I kind of look at it. And even though the physical body is not here, the spiritual realm, I simply believe it's like matter. It doesn't destroy. It just moves to another place. So Willie, I'm confident that Southern's going to add some post players physically and get it done, because some, I won't say a lot, some have been very critical, and we talk about constructive criticism, but you look at this Southern basketball team, you look at the losses. Charles talked about it before the show started. I know a loss is a loss, but some close losses last year. So be careful how you speak certain words. I think Coach Johnson is an outstanding coach.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Coach
Mm-hmm.
Funchess does a great job. And
Mm-hmm.
so let's just kind of cool the temperature down a little bit. Now, I know disappointment, and Charles, if don't get too much into the hype, because you got those
Mm-hmm.
kind of fans that are always going to have something to complain about.
Oh
But I
yeah.
would say the majority of the fans are spot on, and they support their teams. So go ahead, Coach Spinaway.
You're absolutely correct, man. Because see, we as coaches, we take the blame for the losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we were talking earlier, Coach Funchess can't go to that free throw line, man, and put down free throws. He can come up with the X's and O's. He can put them in a position to where they can win games, but it's ultimately left up to the student athletes. And that's not throwing blame on that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting blame on the athletes, but I think a lot of time the coaches we get blamed for things that are out of our control.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best way to say that. But the patience has got to be there. I don't care what sport we're talking about. The patience on our fans and stuff, it has to be there, man. You got to give. You have to give it. I know that's not going to happen, but you got to give the coaches and these kids a chance, man. It's not everything can't be on every game. You cannot do that, man. You can't do that. You're gonna run these kids away. And in this day and age with the internet and social media, some of the things that the alumni are saying, that's what's helping these kids to make their decision to leave. They don't want to be involved in stuff like that, man. And the kids see it. They get a better opportunity to see it than we can, because a lot of stuff that's out there, I don't get the chance to see it because I don't know how to see it. But they know how to navigate the social media realm and find out what's going on, what people are saying. And so we as alum, we have to be very careful, man. We might be running off our own players.
And each team has its own identity in its own right. So a lot of times, we'll talk about maybe this team wasn't as good as last year's team, that sort of thing. To me, every team sets its own identity. And it's not based off of last year. It's based off of you, the coach, and what you emphasize and, that sort of thing, and how the kids play. And we forget sometimes, guys, that they're still kids.
Right.
They're children.
Yeah.
As much as we want them to be grown up, they're not. They're not perfect. They're going to blow assignments. They're going to miss easy shots. They're going to miss free throws. Only thing you can do, as Coach Pettaway eloquently stated, is to put them in position to be successful, try to take advantage of any windows of opportunities to win championships that may be there. But at the end of the day, you still relying on 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. And we know ain't nothing perfect about that age range, because we've all been through there. Been there and been through it.
Right. And then we're still navigating this landscape now. See, with the NIL now, like Boulder used to always talk about, well, you need a big. Well, that costs you money right now. If you want to get a big that can play now, it's going to cost money. That's NIL. Where do we get NIL? That's where the alums and fans got to come into play. They got to support that. They got to support that endeavor. And I promise you now, before NIL came, big guys that could play were going for $200,000. And that was before it was even legal.
Wow.
That was before it was even legal, man. So to get the big kid who can play. Now, Willie, you know about this. Mm-hmm. If there's a big out there that can play and you can get him, that means there's something else wrong. You better check.
That's right. That's right.
There's something wrong. The reason why that kid's available.
You better read that resume.
Right. So as coaches, we know this, but the average fan, they don't understand that, and they don't see that. They just think you can just plug and play. Go get one, plug them in. We ready to roll. Now, at what cost is that? And then when you look at it, break down who won the SWAC this year? Bethune-Cookman. Are they loaded with bigs? No. You know what they have? They've got 6'6", 6'7" guys that can play, and they're very aggressive. They play with a passion. They play hard. They are physical on the floor. Watching them play is like watching a football game. They get it done, man. And it's the physicality that they bring to it. That's what has helped them. And then, of course, you got people like Bradley. Bradley's a finesse player. He's not a he was the difference maker, in my opinion. Because he can score on all three levels. He can get to the basket. That's the makeup of the team. So now are the other coaches in the league, are they gonna follow that prescription that Bethune-Cookman came up with? How did they construct that team? They went to the NIL. I mean, they went to the transfer portal. I'm sorry. Well, they did a combination of NIL and transfer portal to build that team. And he didn't bring in a bunch of bigs. He brought in athletic people that could play.
Yeah, because I know even on the NBA level, they talk about the threes as being the most important or dominant players. Except for it's like 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", and they can play with their back to the basket. They can play facing the basket, and then we even look. You know how we talked about the European influence? You kind of see it on the collegiate level, panel, because Southern's tallest player, he has a mid range, but he's not a dominant post player. So bigs are different now. They like to, they like to play 6'9", 6'10", 6'11". They like to play way out on the perimeter, in other words.
And boy, don't that make you mad? Jeez, that just burns me up.
That's really why I'm bald. I pulled all my hair out. Because I'm kind of old school in that essence. Go inside out. But, people in Baton Rouge, Edwin would know, Fernandez Griffin, better known as, affectionately known as Bumpy. He told me something. Well, he told me a lot of things, but he said in this conference, and this is back 15 years ago, he said I could take 6'5" point guards, 6'5" shooting guards, small forward, 6'6", 6'7", and a 6'8" center,
and beat the pants off you.
And I'll be dominant.
And
I looked just like this when he said that. Wait a minute. Fernandez is a football guy, but no, come to find out, he used to coach AAU basketball, but he loved those big guards and combo guards. That can play both positions. So just kind of food for thought. And then while I'm at it, I was at the basketball game with my best friend. And this kind of question is for Southern, but we were looking at the rafters in the FG Clark Activity Center. You got Avery Johnson, the court. You got Bobby Fields, Bob Love. Will there ever be a lady basketball player having their what do you call it? Jersey up on the rafters? And throughout the conference, how many lady basketball players have been afforded that award? I know that's kind of what I was thinking. Go ahead.
I would say for Southern, Nancy Marshall. That's the one that stands out for me. Nancy Marshall. I mean, that goes way back. But if there's one in the rafters at Southern, Nancy Marshall would be a one for me.
Jackson at Alabama State. She's up there.
Yeah.
Now, what you talking about, the coach?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Shamika Jackson. Shamika Jackson.
No. Alabama State.
Yeah.
All SWAC. She was all SWAC Player of the Year. She coached the women's team.
Yeah.
Frida Jackson.
Frida. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Frida. I think Frida is she's in the Raptors at Bama State, if I'm not mistaken. But you're right, Carlos. There are not a lot of females in the rafters, and I think some of it has to do with look at women's basketball didn't come on until later, whereas the men have always been out there. You know, like at A&M, women's basketball didn't even come back until the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, but it's time. There have been some women in the SWAC who should have their jersey retired.
And a lot of these schools, Hall of Fames are young,
right?
Quote
Correct.
unquote.
Yep.
You know, in terms of when it began, that sort of thing. And but they've been playing sports probably since the 30s and 40s or what have you. So a lot of times you caught playing catch up.
Right.
So it's going to be a while before it kind of goes full circle to where some of the ladies that deserve to be up in them rafters are up there.
Yep. And then Charles, you can help me with this. I think one of the young ladies that should have their jersey put up, she was at Grambling. She led the nation in triple doubles.
That's a little short girl.
Yes. Yeah. Now I remember the feet. I just can't remember her name.
Oh, somebody in the chat room gonna remember. I know you're talking about.
Now, Charles, for me, somebody like her, eventually her stuff should be retired at Grambling, because what she did on the floor, there's not a lot of people in the entire country did it because they recognize her because of that feat. But I can't remember her name. But I think I was calling games. I think it happened after I retired. That the young lady that I'm talking about from Grambling. So Carlos, you're correct, man. There have been some very talented ladies in the SWAC, and then I'm like Wheeler. It's just getting to that cycle to where it's time to recognize some of those people.
Well, I'm going to propose that question to the associate AD and the AD at Southern, and I could think of another one. Jacqueline Winfield.
Yep.
Remember, now, Charles made a good point, Nancy Marshall, but Winfield, she came with Coach Pugh. The first, well, I'm going to be careful about this, but a combo guard. She was outstanding, and she came from JUCO.
You know what?
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, because I think with Coach Pugh, she used to get that ball at the high on the wing. Coach used to run sets for her where she got that ball at the high, right off of the lane, Charles, and that girl used to go to work. All right, and then up at Prairie View now, you think about they had some great players up there at one point too. Now at Prairie View, I think the post player, she was 2 or 3 time player of the year, Charles, at PV.
I got it for you, Coach. Shaquilla Hill.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The only Division I player ever to record 2 quadruple doubles.
Yep.
So that's who you're talking about.
Yep. So there's been plenty of talent, man. I think it's going to take time for the people to recognize these ladies. But yeah, there should be some ladies in the rafters too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just brought to my attention, and I was like, at a basketball game, you get good ideas when you're at a baseball game and a basketball game, and it's something to be considered.
Right.
And I'm sure we kind of just doing this at the top of our head. Probably somebody we're missing, but it's something to be considered.
Even at Grambling, Carlos, when I was a student, you had Mary Curry from Duboc, Louisiana. I don't know if Coach Petto remembers Mary Curry. Tasha Hollis, who was a beast in the post back in the day. Those were two of probably the best players, 1 or 2 amongst the best players ever played in this conference. I don't know if their names are in the rafters, but that is a good conversation.
Yeah, interesting to kind of follow that up. We have the graphics, of course, for the SWAC basketball tournament. Was getting ready to start pretty soon. Brian will put up the women's bracket, and there you go, boy. Texas Southern and Bethune-Cookman Valley and Prairie View A&M. And then you got FAMU, and but you could see it. We talked about a couple of things early on, but now let's talk about the dark horse team that could raise the banner on the women's side. And that's interesting. Interesting, to say the least. Then we have to think about it for a minute. In the chat room,
Bama State
to participate.
Bama State on the women's side, they had that run toward the end of the season. It seemed as if they got it together. Charles, Bama State would be one of the teams that I think you better look out for. They could be a dark horse on the women's side.
Yeah.
And you look at two of their big victories. They defeated Southern twice. And by the way, Southern was predicted to win it all. Tournament, regular season, albeit close games. That's some stars in their cap.
Yeah. When you look at, and I did some digging on this, what number one seed going into the tournament has not won the tournament? And I actually did some digging on this. On the men's side, it's been wide open. Alcorn won the regular season with Landon Bussey, didn't win the tournament. On the women's side, you remember Southern upset Jackson State and Tamika Reed on that great shot in Birmingham. It's happened. I looked at it in the last 10 tournaments. And of course, we had a COVID year in which you didn't have a tournament. It happened 3 times. On the men's side, it's happened 5 times.
Wow.
So we talk about teams that win the regular season. Can they complete the journey and win the SWAC tournament? It has happened, but more times than not, that top seed, does go on. But I think now with the talent, I think it could be wide open every year.
Coach Pettaway, Alabama State, huh?
Yes, I say Alabama State has a shot at it, and that's. I wanted to say Southern, but Southern's in the same bracket with A&M, and I still think that A&M will get to the championship game. So coming out of that other bracket, it would be Alabama State. Now, if I lay it aside, Southern would have a chance to come out of the other bracket as a dark horse team.
Wow. Yeah. You look at the losses, and they kind of dropped in the seeding, but I can't disagree with you on that one. That's the question. Which dark horse?
Right. Who's your dark horse, Charles? Charles, who you got?
Oh man. Just keeping up with the teams in terms of how they've done. I would kind of go along with you and say Alabama State, but also I'm watching UAPB the other night. I think UAPB is a team that nobody is talking about. They're coming along, second year coach there. I would say UAPB don't sleep on the Lady Lions. They got some shooters. They can D up, they can slow you down. So I would not, be surprised if UAPB throws a wrench in this thing.
Yeah, because they swept Alcorn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came from behind from 19 down at Pine Bluff. They went to a zone and we couldn't handle it. We didn't shoot the ball well. Of course, we didn't have our center, but UAPB, despite missing like 12 free throws, and that was a frustrating part about the game the other night. They missed 12 free throws and kept us in it. But we didn't take advantage of it. So I would say UAPB is the team that, and look, these teams that we don't talk about, we've talked about certain teams all year, Southern, Bethune, Alabama A&M, but down the stretch, you're seeing some teams that are kind of getting it out of the mud a little bit that, no one's looking at them going to Atlanta, but that could be to your detriment if you're not careful.
Well, I'll go back, Wheeler. It's about matchups. Some teams match up well against others. And, even in the chat room, even discussing it during the week, you sit and say, wow, Alabama State, UAPB, interesting. But it just looks like on the men and the women's side, UAPB, their coaches must have got together and said, we're coming up with some zone play.
Yep. Yeah, but a lot of things would have to happen for those kind of upsets, I think, to take place. And, bottom line, for me, I like to play as much as possible. And, so somehow, those teams that are playing early, if they get that early momentum and ride it out, and then something could possibly happen. But those teams that are playing on Monday or playing on Tuesday in those first rounds, if they get that momentum and get out of that that first game and really start to ride old Mo, anything could happen.
That's
Oh,
5 games you got to win.
Yeah.
oh, momentum. Now we'll switch to the men's bracket, and I liked how we talked about earlier which number one seed least likely. And I did see in the chat room they had a poll, and I think it was 60%. Here it is, 20 votes. 60% Bethune-Cookman, Alabama A&M 40%. About even, about split on that one. That's going to be interesting. But at least I try to be consistent. It's just something that told me a month out that Bethune-Cookman, I mean, they started out so strong.
Yeah.
FAMU on the men's side started out strong, then they hit that little lull, and then they kind of
bounce back.
Yeah.
And see, and Carlos, speaking of FAMU, I don't think we give enough credit. We have given enough credit to Charlie Ward because think about this now. They weren't even thought about in the preseason.
Yeah.
And here they finished second behind Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman, Reggie Theus got Coach of the Year, but he was already they'd already picked him and his team to win the SWAC championship, to win the conference championship, right? But you take Charlie Ward and the job that he's done, he should have gotten a lot of votes for Coach of the Year.
It's just me, Coach Pettaway. I'm hard on a rookie.
Huh?
Hey, he sounded like he'd been talking to Marino Cassim, God save his soul. But that's who else said that.
I'm hard on a rookie. I'm sorry. I'm hard on a rookie.
But when you talk about Coach of the Year, and I think we've had this discussion before. Okay, so they were picked. Reggie Theus was picked to win and all that, and they handled that. But then what about the team that had the biggest improvement? They were picked 9th, and then they finished 3rd. That's a 6-spot jump. How strong consideration? How much weight does that get put into the mix?
Yeah.
Well, we want to keep it nice, but Charles, we had a discussion before the show started. It's some strange things happen when you're voting on all conference.
It's the meeting before the meeting. It's the meeting before the meeting.
You see some strange things, and every year I see people just on social media, they're just disgusted. Right. This person should have been in. Why this team didn't have anybody on the conference team, and then 8th place, 9th place team had 2.
Right. Now Carlos, now I don't want to jump the gun, but do you have a spot for the all-conference teams? Are we going to discuss that later?
Yeah, and we need to do it because I guess it's coming up at 12:30.
Okay.
Yep, I got it right here. But you can start it out. SWAC announces the women's basketball postseason awards. And where is it? Okay. Dawn Thornton, Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, Khalil Walker, Alabama A&M, Defensive Player of the Year, Nakia Cheatham, I believe that's pronounced. Charles, India Bowen, newcomer of the year, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Freshman of the Year. I'm not going to attempt the last one. I'm from South Louisiana. We have some interesting names. But Pierre Noel from Jackson State, PNT. I'm not going to attempt to try that last name. And then, of course, all SWAC first team, Walker, Alabama A&M, Cheatham, Alcorn State, Bowen, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Shania, Nunn, Grambling State, and Talia, Logwood, Texas Southern. All SWAC second team, Moses, Davenport, Alabama A&M, Demia Porter, Southern. There's a sighting. Oh, my, here's another one. Purifour.
Yep.
I'll give it up. FAMU, Crystal Schultz, Purview A&M, and Jalea Cotton, Jackson State. So anybody got a problem with some of this?
No. I do not.
Yeah.
I do not. I think that's a really good first and second team. Watching all those teams, those players are well deserving of it.
No, I'm not going to argue about it. No constructive criticism here. Voted on by their peers.
And,
now,
in Walker's case, she was voted preseason player of the year.
So they got it right.
On the women's side. Yep.
Interesting. Very interesting. On the men's side, Reggie Theus, Bethune-Cookman. But boy, if I could just take a little piece of that and take a slice to Kilbert. He sold me. What do you guys think on the panel? I know it goes by the regular season champion, but there could have been some votes casted for Coach Gilbert.
Nobody thought we would be a 2 seed. I can tell you that.
Right. Yes. Right.
Nobody thought that we would be a 2 seed, losing Destiny Brown, losing Charmaine Finley, losing Zaniyah White. Nobody thought we would be a 2 seed, but we were. So I do think there should have been strong consideration. I mean, but you got a coach that's won 17 in a row, won the regular season, in the last couple of weeks of the season. I guess you can't take that away from Coach Brown, but
no.
Nate Kilbert definitely deserves a lot of play on that too.
It'd be nice if we can give him some kind of award, Wheeler. What kind of award can we give him? The People's Champion?
Add another year to his contract. I'm sure that would satisfy. That would satisfy all ills.
Give him that 2-year extension.
Yeah.
I do think, though, if we get to the championship game again, and if we win it, I do think there will be more time added to the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Oh, I'm a fight.
They should.
I'm a fight for
somebody's coming to get that guy. Somebody's coming to get him.
Even if they don't win a championship and they get to it,
he'd be on my short list.
I'm prepared to give him 2 more years. Player of the year, Deshaun Ruffin, Jackson State. Defensive player of the year, Jacarius Standback. Newcomer of the year, Michael James, Mississippi Valley State. Freshman of the year, Antonio Munoz. And then, of course, all-SWAC first team, Deshaun Ruffin, Jackson State. Deontay Horn, Prairie View A&M. Jacoby Hetty, Bethune-Cookman. Quinn Williams, Arkansas Pine Bluff. And Michael James, Mississippi Valley State. all-SWAC second team, Contavious Dozier, Alabama A&M. Michael Jacobs, Southern. Wow. Troy Hupstead, Texas Southern, Daniel Rouzan, Bethune-Cookman, and Teron Joseph, Prairie View A&M. Now, that's interesting. Jacobs and Teron Joseph. Joseph had to fight through some injuries. And Coach Pettaway, I'm always watching. You were surprised, and I started to text you, but I said, he's on the broadcast. You were surprised that he came off the bench. Last home game, he came off the bench. Alabama State, he came off the bench in Alabama A&M. Now, I was sitting there wondering, was it maybe trying to just see something internally, or was it maybe give him some tired legs, some fresh legs? But when he came in, he did well. And then, again, we talked about it before. As a facilitator, I think of him, and I guess I got to get it out of my mind, of a combo guard. But Coach, I keep thinking of him as an off guard. But when he facilitates, not bad.
Was he the one who took that crazy shot at the end?
No. Will, no. That was Mr. Shoddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But Carlos, I promise you, man. Jacobs is a combo guard. He can do them both. And I promise, and he was a big difference in that game in the second half, because when he didn't get it for himself, he was getting it for his teammates, man. He put them in better positions to score the basketball. Mm-hmm. So now I understand. And then we as coaches sometimes, people might be wondering, well, what's going on? Nothing. Sometimes coaches, we send messages to our players.
Okay.
you have a role with this team, and we want you to stay with that role.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and so bringing him off the bench may be to recenter him, to get him refocused. I'm sorry, wrong word. Refocus.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be why. But it worked. It worked fantastic for Alabama A&M game because when he came in, they weren't expecting that rush. Man, he came in like gangbusters. And you got to have most teams that play well, they got to have a spark coming off that bench. He was a big spark coming off that bench for you all. Now, he didn't start the game, but now he played so well in that first half. He started the second half. That's the first thing I noticed. I said, uh-oh. I said, this joker's on the floor to start the second half. So, but he's a good player, has to understand his role on the team. And you all are confused about whether or not you calling him as a point guard. A lot of coaches now don't even go to point guard. They got lead guards. And so that's what the NBA does, right? So he can play, he can initiate your offense, or he can be that scorer for you all. And so far, to me now, he's doing a good job. I know I love the coaching. Because when that joker go downhill, man, it's nobody in this league that can stay in front of that boy. He's got the body for that. And I think that hurt Alabama A&M. You all got the big guards, man, and they just overpowered them, man, going to the basket.
Yeah,
and they tried to post up every occasion they got. They were trying to post people up. Yep.
It's going to be interesting in this tournament. And when I talk to different people, I like to get everybody's perspective. And me and Willa were talking, and he watched the Bethune-Cookman game. And by the way, remember we were talking about the zone, and how to defeat it, put yourself in a position. A lot of times you see the shot clock is almost at 6 or 5, and then I understand Willa. He threw up that long shot. My goodness! Now he hit one from 30 feet to beat Alabama State. But it wasn't a good shot.
He had time. He had time to get a better opportunity, even if it meant going to the basket and trying to draw a foul or and one or what have you, that sort of thing. He had time to do that. It just seemed like he brought it up the floor with the intent that he was going to throw up a 30-footer.
Right.
Yeah.
He even backed up. He even backed up a couple steps.
Yep. Hey, but now, Carlos, with this all SWAC team, you know that when you ask how do we like it, the one thing I would question, if you got 2 kids on Prairie View on the all SWAC team, if they're all SWAC, why did they finish so low? See, that's what I would be looking at. Now, you got Horn and you got Joseph. They got 2 players and they finished where they finished. Come on now. This is the way
administratively, I'd have to ask that question.
Right, because see, this is the way I see it now. A guy on a team that's toward the bottom, they're gonna get numbers because they don't have anybody else. They're taking all the shots. So statistically, you may have numbers, but is that the real test or measurement of an all-conference performer? And that's you got 2 of them. Come on now. Charles, even when I was coaching, I complained about that because I remember the year that they gave Rush the MVP and Grambling was the last place team in the league. I said, hold up. How can your MVP come from a team that's in last place? And around the country, they were the SWAC coaches and SID, whoever did the voting, they were the only people that picked Rush as the MVP that year. Every other outlet had another MVP.
Wow.
You don't do that. It's hard for you to be the MVP and your team's in last place.
So
you
the
most
value
on your team, not of the league.
Yeah. So the value is placed more so on the team accomplishment and where they are in the standings as compared to the individual.
That's what I think it should happen. Unless you just got one outstanding player. Are you leading the nation in scoring? You know, not the conference. You're supposed to lead the conference in scoring because you all your team got. but come on now. So I'm serious. So it's got to be, to me, you got to look at where the team finishes when you start doing some of these. That's just that's Van Putaway's opinion now. And I was that way when I coached. So I didn't get like this after I retired because I was the first one to scream when Rush was the MVP. And I stood up in the meeting and told him that was the biggest embarrassment that I've ever been involved with.
Well, I think we'll have to visit this another time, but valid.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you don't have to be sorry. Valid points. It's better for you to say it. You have more credibility. You know, if I bring up these things, I'm just a loudmouth. You know, but you have more credibility with it. We're gonna take a quick time out. A special guest is waiting, Kim Murray Walker. Look, I'm trying to flex and stretch now.
Me too.
But the seriousness of it, yoga and what it's done.
Oh, yeah.
Not only on the college level.
Professional,
yeah.
Yes.
And so I'm interested to hear this conversation, how it helps life in general, both from a physical and a mental standpoint. Because some of them stretches I've seen, you got to be mentally tough and physical.
Oh, yes.
And then how she and her company have really helped out the student athletes, particularly at Southern University. Quick story, I saw on Instagram, and I was like, I've got to get her on to talk about it. So, good. Kim Murray Walker comes up next. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We will be right back.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Our very special guest, Kim Murray Walker. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Kim.
Carlos, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Well, you look the part. You look so fit.
I'm coming to you right from the Move Your Body Yoga Studio. We had class this morning.
Oh, man, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
As we were leading up to talking to you, the importance of yoga from a physical and a mental standpoint. We tend to think about the physical part, but it's also mental. But its impact on student athletes and athletes. Kind of walk us through that important connection that now we're seeing all over the country.
Well, yoga is, thanks for having me on the show, number one. Yoga is so important to an athlete's progress through his or her tenure on the field. It not only connects movement, but it connects breath with mind and your mindfulness. And so with those three components together, the athlete has an amazing toolkit that they can always refer back to that supports them not only on the field or, soccer, football, whatever the sport is. It carries them from the gridiron to the field, to the classroom, and even into life. So when you start connecting those pieces, right, then they have the tools that they can use to not only strengthen their bodies, but control their emotions and create focus and calm in their bodies from start to finish. And that's where we like to start, helping them get the right toolkits for their bodies so that they can maintain.
Now, I saw Instagram and you were working with Southern University football players, and you just stated not just for football, but all sports. I saw Southern University, I believe, soccer team working. How has the approach for football, because we kind of think about training for football it's different from training for basketball, but it seems to be yoga doesn't matter. It's a specific goals that it targets.
I start with recovery. I start thinking immediately about recovery for athletes because they're going to hit the right weight room. They're going to do all of their strength and conditioning. They're going to do all those wonderful things that they do with their strength and conditioning system. But they need recovery. They need their muscles to recover faster, and they need to be able to do that methodically. Then I move into mobility. I need to think about their range of motion, what's going to be important for them. Some guys and ladies have tight hips, so we have to think about yoga postures that help them maintain a good range of motion. Then we think about injury prevention, because as we all know, when you practice any sport, whether it's competitive or recreational, it's not if you're going to get hurt or injured, but when. So we need to think about stabilizing muscles. Yoga helps us do that. And then breath control, we need to make sure they stay calm under pressure. So we don't just take this as a by the wayside approach. We think about how they're training now, and then we marry that yoga into the sequences to make sure they stay safe and healthy. And then on top of that, we ask them to stay in the moment. So that mental focus and clarity is something that we really work on from the top of our work when we start on the yoga mat until we finish. We breathe, we work, we stretch, we restore, we improve their mobility, and then we rest on the end. Once you get that yoga brain into their psyche and their wellness, it's just going to carry them far throughout anything that they do. Baseball, soccer, football. We've worked with all the teams, actually. I started with women's soccer. I had an opportunity to train them as a substitute instructor, and that just catapulted me into Move Your Body Yoga. So,
Kim, a typical session, how long does it last? Or does it vary?
1 hour. So we're taking 60 minutes. We may start the first 15 minutes or so with breath work and some stretch. And then it just depends on what cycle the athlete is in. For example, right now, basketball is in season. So if they're in studio, We're not going to do any sort of power yoga. We're going to bring things all the way down. We're going to get breath work, longer time with breath work, and several different modalities of breath work. There's ways to breathe with intention in yoga. There's ways to calm your nervous system. And there's a breath that you can breathe to give you fire in your belly, to warm you up from the inside. So we will take a round of breath work, and then we will move into gentle yoga poses that help them stretch. For those athletes, deep hip work, okay? And then after we get about 20, 25 minutes, we're gonna come into what's called the Shavasana, which is the amazing opportunity to rest, not only your body, but your mind. You're lying on your mat, nice and still, and it's just you and the mat, and you and your thoughts. And you're gonna work to get your body to find calm, asking your body to find calm, because there's no sense of perfection on that yoga mat. It's just practice, practice, and more practice. And once you develop the breath work and the mindfulness, it carries right out of this yoga studio or wherever we're practicing and right on into the field.
Boy, I could use that. I'm in the education. So,
Yes.
and
You
some
know,
days from a mental standpoint,
absolutely.
you're exhausted.
Yoga is for athletes. It's for your young youth, 17, any kid in sports. It's just great. Adult professionals, especially adults who work in corporate spaces who lead very sedentary lifestyles at work. They're sitting. Sitting is the new smoking, basically. If you're not moving your body, you're causing great damage. Even if you're moving 30 minutes a day, that's great. If you can come move on the yoga mat, that's even better, because you're getting mindfulness, breath work, and movement all into one. So everybody deserves to move, and everybody can move if they want to, and they can do this through the practice of yoga. This is something you can start as a youth and carry this until you're in your seasoned golden years.
Kim, I hope this question is not, well, I'll put it this way. I've always thought that women were more flexible than men. True or false, or is that something I shouldn't even have those
You
type of
know,
thoughts in?
I don't know. I guess if you were to just on face value, you would say women are more flexible, but I've seen some really flexible guys. I've seen, a defensive lineman who was more flexible than I, and I was a gymnast growing up.
Wow.
It just depends. If you develop your practice, you can get into any posture. And then if you can't get into the full posture, there's always a modification that helps you get a little bit deeper into that stretch until you, work your way to those postures. But I don't think, I will say this, yoga meets you where you are, okay? You don't have to be flexible. It meets you where you are. It's not just about stretching. It's finding that beautiful connection between stretch, breath, awareness, and allowing all of those components to work together.
Well, I think there's hope for us.
Yes, yes. So Carlos, I'm hearing that even senior citizens can be a part of yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd love to speak on that. Here in the studio, you guys can probably see this heater on behind me.
Yeah.
Move Your Body Yoga is a boutique infrared heated studio. So this heater warms your muscles safely. You're going to detox through sweat. You're going to get improved circulation. You're going to reduce inflammation in your body. And when you stretch, it's going to be less strain, because the room is warm, yes, but this heat hits at a cellular level, and your body warms on the inside first, and that's the detox. There are lots of professional athletes who have infrared saunas in their homes. We actually have a standalone sauna in the back of the studio where you can actually physically get in it. That helps with muscle recovery, reducing stress and inflammation. So good for post-workout recovery. That is what the Southern University Jaguars use here when they are in studio. So we take care of our athletic wellness and our members and clients who visit us. You spend 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes in that infrared sauna, you see amazing benefits.
Right. More and more professional athletes are going to yoga because it's prolonging their careers.
Right. It's sustainability in a way that your body can support this. I was practicing so much yoga at one time, 2 times a day, sometimes even 3, about 6 to 7 days a week, because I love yoga so much. And again, I injured myself in that process. It was the healing process that I came in contact with the infrared heat and decided, hey, there's something up with this. This is a game changer, especially in my body. I have fibromyalgia and I manage it by practicing in a heated studio, but the infrared heat takes the game to a different level because of the detox and the inflammation reduction component. Athletes need that. When they're injured, inflammation loves to rush into that space. And so working in this type of environment, the infrared heated studio, and marrying the techniques we do with breath work and mindfulness and thinking about their mobility and recovery, we can help get them back into their respective sports quicker.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Ms. Walker, how many days a week should you do yoga?
I would say a minimum 3. 3 days a week. Yes. And Carlos, you would be excited to know that there are guys who weightlift and come here for yoga wellness for their stretch. And I tell them all the time, you lift and you do yoga, your gains are going to be exponential.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
There is hope. I'm telling you.
There is hope.
There is hope.
Yes.
Charles, did you have a
yoga is
question?
medicine. Yoga is medicine for your body.
I would agree. I've been very impressed. You know, you think you know a certain topic, but to get someone like you to come in and really explain it and explain it in such a way that you understand it, I can actually see the benefits for athletes and non-athletes.
Correct.
Charles, a question?
Yeah, when I see these yoga shows on TV, I turn the channel another way because it looks hard.
How about Charles?
I guess my question is, why is it perceived that yoga, and I think someone chimed in on it, how hard yoga is. Why is it perceived as being hard?
You know, honestly, some of the poses are really hard. They are, you know, but there are some poses that you can practice with ease and using your breath. You can breathe through any posture. You know, if you're a beginner yogi, you're not going to be doing something that's for advanced for someone who's been practicing 20 years. However, in my opinion, every yoga pose can be modified to, again, meet you where you are. And so that's why I get so excited about talking about movement. My oldest member, and she will not mind me telling this, she says to preach it, and I do. She's 80, and she is in this yoga studio 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, without fail. And she stays mobile and active. Not only is she on the yoga mat, she walks several miles a couple times a week. And right now she's away on a trip traveling because she's staying so mobile and active. So again, if this is something that you can start doing now, you can pick this up at 40, 50, you can continue to move and you can meet yourself where you are on the mat. I tell my clients, don't beat yourself up. Do what you can. It's practice, practice, and more practice. And the next time you come back, if you're not able to achieve that pose, keep coming back, keep striving to get into that pose until you get there.
That's
so
outstanding.
I think one of the poses that I used to know about was the upward dog pose.
Yes.
That helps your back, correct?
It does. Does your lower back great. Strengthens your spine.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, Kim, talk about your business. There might be someone who wants to, take up yoga. Tell them about the business, the time, and how they can become a part of it.
Absolutely. I'm here in studio. This is Move Your Body Yoga here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We are a boutique infrared hot yoga studio. We opened in August of 2023. We're located at 9257 Florida Boulevard here in Baton Rouge. We are built on wellness. We move daily. We're about balance, strength, and mobility, and we are a welcoming wellness center. We want you to feel good in your body, and we're going to help you get there. We want you to be consistent over intensity. That's what we work for. All levels, beginning all the way up to advanced. All of our classes are heated with the exception of 2. We added 2 new non-heated classes for those individuals who say, you know, I want to tiptoe into a hot yoga studio, but I don't know. So we invite them in to see what it feels like first. And those classes are more restorative, and they're taught by 2 experienced professionals who have been teaching yoga for more than 20 years. And one of those instructors actually certified me. So I feel like we are well covered in terms of experience and able to lead our clients. And if anyone wants to visit us, they can reach out at www.moveyourbodyyoga.com. You can join us on our Facebook page, same name, and also on our Instagram page.
Right.
So what I've learned, Panna, is from a physical and a mental standpoint, but recovery is important.
Yes.
And it's just like with anything. You don't start off being a pro in the beginning. It's
No.
levels that you work to get there. I mean, all important information, but those two stand out for me. And there is hope for everybody if you want to have that. It's kind of yoga's like a completeness, you know, mental, physically, and spiritually wellness. That's what I got out of
It's a mind, body,
this.
soul connection. Mind, body, soul.
Well, Ms. Walker, let me ask you this: would you do you ever take it on the road? In other words, would you go to a college campus and do yoga for the athletic teams at their place?
I take yoga on the road, and I will teach and train anyone who wants to move your body. Move your body. I'll share this with you guys. I don't know if not many people know this about the studio, but I was practicing at a different studio, and after every workout, I would walk up to the mirror and go, "Hey guys, I just finished my workout today. Did you move your body today? You need to move your body today." And on the screen, I would put hashtag move your body. And I thought about opening a business, and I kept asking my daughter, what should I name the studio? And she gave me the eye roll emoji back on the text, like, "What, lady, you've been saying the name of your business for like 24 months. Just go back and look at your stories." And I went back, and the common thread was move your body. And that became Move Your Body Yoga. So yes, I will teach anyone to move their bodies in a safe way that provides a space for them to breathe, move, and glow, because that's our tagline. So yes, sir, I will train. I have taken my show on the road.
Gotcha.
Wait a minute, Coach Pettaway. Are you trying to get something going in Huntsville?
Well, I can't let Southern get all the yoga stretches in.
I'm an alum, and I love my Southern University Jaguars. It's an honor and privilege to serve them in that way.
That's great. That's great. Awesome job.
Awesome job. On that note, Kim, we appreciate the time. We'll get you back. I mean, very interesting. It's my I'll say my beginning of going into the whole experience of yoga. And if hopefully God says the same, I could come in for a stretch.
I think I could do you guys one better than that. We just recently upgrade our booking software and have options to practice with us online. So I may send you guys a Zoom link, and you can join me in that way. From the comfort of your living room. You just need a yoga mat, a towel, and you need to be hydrated, and then we can go.
Right.
I think I can accomplish all of that, and my significant other has a yoga mat, and by the way,
there you go.
She has some training in it.
There you
go. She's so tough, though. She's tough, but we appreciate the time. Let's talk again soon.
Take you so much for having me on the show. Guys, have a great rest of your day.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Good stuff.
That was very good stuff.
Yep.
You're never too old to learn. That's what I say. And boy, I'm gonna look into it.
Hey, now if she send you that link, man, share it, okay?
I will, Coach Pettaway. You're not trying to insinuate something, huh?
No.
I know. I'm messing with you. But it was interesting what she was saying. Like, remember she made the reference of a defensive lineman being able to stretch, and the offensive lineman. And, I looked at the video. I saw all of them, and the coaches kind of out there with them. And I just found that very interesting. I had seen it before, but to kind of really see how all sports teams now are involving that in their workouts.
Now, I'm gonna try to bring something. I hope you all can remember this. When she started talking about the defensive lineman, do you all remember when Georgia won the national championship and that lineman started doing the splits and stuff there at the trophy presentation? See, that Georgia has been doing yoga for years, and that kid was a part of that. And did you see how flexible that big kid was? This guy over 300 pounds and the doggone splits and double splits he was doing. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. So it's interesting. Yoga, everybody, they keep adding stuff to training to get your body ready to play and to compete, continue to compete. And I think it's amazing, man, because now you're getting more longevity out of athletes, especially the professional athletes, because they're putting more emphasis on your body.
Yep. And I know I've talked about it, and I think we've talked about it on the show. Magic Johnson talks about when he first got to Willard to the NBA, he waited to come to camp to get in shape. But he learned very quickly. In the off season is very important as well. He said, man, you come to camp to try to get in shape, you lost your position. You had to hit the ground running.
Too late.
And I remember back in the day when God rest his soul, Floyd Kerr was AD, and we've talked about this, keeping those kids in the off season, getting them in summer school, and being able to do anything because, let's just be honest. They were also concerned about those O linemen and D linemen. They could give them workouts to do at home, but somehow they tend to come back a little bit heavier, right? And I saw them get the wrath of Coach Richardson when they came back to camp. You could tell quickly who didn't and who did follow the plan. So it's good to get them on campus for the summer. Even if you're a straight A student, still, I can keep an eye on them, Willer.
Definitely.
Yeah. You can definitely tell who's in shape and who's not coming back from camp.
Real quick. Very quick.
On the net, we got a few minutes left. Kind of recap. Alabama A&M women's regular season champion. According to the poll, they are most likely to be the number one seed that'll be in the championship. 60 to 40%. But Bethune-Cookman, the voters and on the panel thinks, be careful, Bethune-Cookman. Now, I don't know if any of them watching the show. Maybe I know a few Wildcats. They probably will say, look, you got a little motivation there. You're the regular season champions, but some on the panel, even the one with the Ankh hat, he doesn't believe at all in Bethune-Cookman. But let me say this. Congratulations to them again. They were tough. They were physical. But I've just seen sometimes when the slate is wiped clean now, 0-0, you're going to get everybody's best shot. So you gotta be prepared. Thoughts and prayers for the Willie Bolden family through this troubled time. But guess what? For many of us, we'll see them. We'll see him. And I've never met him physically, but see him on the other side. A great person, great family. We talked a little bit about that. SWAC postseason awards, men and women. Now, Charles, you're headed off to Atlanta. It should be a very interesting and wild week. And quickly, maybe I shouldn't bring it up, but I thought about it when we were talking to Ms. Kim Walker about yoga. There was a big conversation. Charles Barkley just went off on people saying why you should question. And I'm going to tie this in. Jason Tatum, he made it back, and I didn't think he was going to make it back, Coach Pettaway.
Right. I hope he didn't rush it, man, because you with that Achilles, man, if you push it and it goes again, it's over with, man. That's your career. So, they say normally it takes over a year to recover, and he's done it in less than that. Man, that's tough now.
Yeah. Hopefully he has done the right thing. I would be concerned. I didn't pop my Achilles, but I had it cut to remove a bone spur, and I was like a baby. So, but I guess with the right training and put yourself in that mental toughness. But sometimes I've learned, mental toughness is good up to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Nature
Common
and Father
sense.
Time and Common Sense are undefeated.
Yep.
SWAC basketball
All right.
tournament games begin Monday. All games on ESPN Plus. Boy,
Yeah, and Charles, I'll see you there. I'm out in the morning too. I mean, after church. I'm sorry, I'm headed over to Atlanta. Carlos, are we doing predictions?
who wins the tournament? Is that what you're talking about?
Right.
On the men's side, who you got? Willa?
Southern.
Uh-oh.
Maybe the kiss of
Not a
death.
bad chance.
Maybe the kiss of death. I
Yeah.
just believe they get over the hump.
Well, I could torture EA and say FAMU.
I got Bethune.
On the men's side, okay. Coach Pettaway?
I don't want to go with Bethune, but everybody else is going with him, so I'm gonna go with Bethune too. I just without Bradley though, I think it's gonna be tough. But Bethune.
Kiss of death. FAMU. FAMU on the men's side. On the women's side, oh boy, that's a tough one.
Nah,
That
not
is
for
a
me.
tough one.
Not for me. I'll go first. Alabama A&M will cut the nest down.
Willa?
A&M runs the table.
Charles?
Oh, the Braves. Gotcha. Wow.
You've heard this song before. I hope I'm wrong, but my heart says Southern gets it together and they hit 80% of free throws. But can they do it more than one game? I'm going to go with Alabama A&M. They have had an outstanding season. And to your point, Coach Pettaway, they won in every fashion.
Yep.
And that's right, EA. I told you, stop messing with me. But I say, quickly, the team with the most pressure. I'm gonna say Alcorn on the women's side. Just totally.
I agree with that.
Yeah, agreed. Got to hoist the trophy on the women's side. Yep.
I think the pressure's on A&M to seal the deal.
I'm hearing from the master. Pat Riley says, I agree with you, Carlos. Even if Alcorn makes it to the championship, give him a +1 Carlos Brown contract. So that's a 3-year extension. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. And we got to get him on the show. Coach Pettaway, we got to get Dr. Brian on.
Okay.
I talked to Coach Banks, and I've also talked to Coach Scott. And by the way, Grambling had the shovels out.
Yeah.
For the indoor practice facility. They've kicked the dirt, and also to G. Boone. G. Boone, I love you to death, but he had to remind me that Southern got swept in softball to Prairieville. Well, they had a great win against Memphis, but conference teams know you so well. They know all your strengths and weakness. I want to thank Brian Fulford. Make sure you catch him on OG Strike Zone. Everyone in the chat room, we appreciate and we love you. Until next Saturday at 11 a.m. for another edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Peace and God bless. There you go, Charles.